Welcome to A Few Minutes with Childersburg Mayor B.J. Meeks. And B.J., what, 6 terms total you served as mayor there in Childersburg?
Yeah, 3 and 3 with a split in the middle of 3. 3 and 3.
How did you got to be doing something right to serve 6 terms total?
Well, sometimes you wonder if you are. You get complaints, and then you get a couple of good compliments. So it keeps you going.
You could have said, hey, we've been here long enough and it's time to turn the page. Why did you decide to run for re-election?
Well, that was a question asked the other night, and I guess the industrial park sort of reunited me a little bit. We were starting to get some water in and sewer and roads in, and at that time starting to get some industry coming in. We've got 4 out there and got some good contacts going on, and we applied for grants, and then, of course, we got our new entrance sign in, and that sort of put a spark in there. And I just felt like it was, I want to stay and see some finish out there.
Talk about the industrial park a little bit more in depth today.
Well, we started out, not a lot of money, the city didn't. We were able to get a grant, the first grant, when New Steel went in, to put in we'll call First Road, because it's First Road we built, and we were able to get water in there. And then we got later on, when Nippon came to the park, we were able to get $500,000 to put sewer back in the town. Then we were able to get some more road money for Nippon Drive, and then the governor got us $200,000, and Nippon put in $100,000 with it, and we were able to build a water tank. And then got a $700,000 no match grant to put the new entrance in, and the most expensive thing was the turning lanes on 235. Mm-hmm. Got those in and got the new road in. And things started to open up, and then we had a Blair Block company that came in, and they have really taken off, and a tremendous businessman. And then, of course, we're dealing with a couple more companies now, and one we're even talking about maybe purchasing a building that joins our property.
What do you think the next 4 years may hold for just that industrial park itself? There's been a lot of talk about that.
I think that this is definitely our future. It's our growth for not only create jobs, but create revenue so we can get other things the city accomplished with. But I think it's really going to take off. Now, we do have some problems, some of the land. Some people are a little concerned with some of the property out there with its past. But we tell them we start out with what we think's bad to start with, and then we get better with it. And the government's there to back it up. So we've got, Calvin's got a couple of prospects, and we're dealing with one prospect ourselves. And Calvin's got two. He deals through the state. And they're working on a couple projects too, and we are too, so it looks good.
The day-to-day operations of a town the size of Childersburg is pretty active, isn't it? It
is, and I tell people, years ago I used to coach ball, worked at the mill, had a garden, and was mayor, and now I don't even have time to raise tomatoes. But it's a full-time job when you consider I can't schedule something for next Tuesday, because I don't know what's going to happen between now and next Tuesday. Who may give me a call that's more important that I need to be there. And the industrial park really laying out the timber cut. When you've got contractors, you still got to deal with them. On the sign, it was every other day dealing with something about the sign, maybe make an adjustment here or there. And then meeting prospects out there and showing the park. If you go out there, you're going to be there a couple of hours each time. And then you still got the operation today. If there's a problem in the sanitation department, you're going to get called. Police department, fire department, you got to check on them daily and know what's going on. And then I get a financial statement every 2 weeks. When we do payroll, I get a financial statement, and I look at the revenue and the expenditures and see if we need to make any adjustments. But it's definitely a full-time job. You get a lot of calls on weekends, which I don't mind. I'm in the phone book, and what's someone's real bad problem may not be somebody else's problem, but if they've got a problem, we want to try to address it for them.
You mentioned the timber cuts. That's really been a blessing for Childersburg.
We've got a little over $1 million worth of timber, and we're going to turn that money back into the property. Matter of fact, we may use some of that money to purchase a building to put another company in, and then lease the building to them. But that money's worked out, and we want to hold some of it in case we have a prospect come along and we need something real quick, and we hadn't got to scramble around to round up some money for it, especially matching grants.
You are known as a steward and have been an effective steward of the city's finances for 6 terms. I know that's important to B.J. Meeks.
It is, and it's a lot of pressure on you. when you got a $4 million budget to deal with, and out of that $4 million, off the top, you're looking at, like most companies, you're looking at half of that is payroll, $2 million payroll. Then you got your health benefits, health insurance, $100-something. People don't realize it's the street light bill to light the streets is $100,000 a year, and then you've got a $150,000 liability insurance you got to have. You got workman's comp you got to have, and so really when you get to pay and your utility bill citywide for the utility bill, and then you've got to have some money to start maintaining the buildings, and so you don't have a whole lot of money to play with in a 4.2 maybe million dollar budget. If we got a grant that year, it may be a 4.4 budget with the grants. But then you got 30-something different counts, and people don't realize you got that money that got to be spent in that area. You know, if it's gasoline tax, you got gasoline tax can be used for roads only, or roads and bridges, and then you've got trust fund money can only be used for construction. They call it brick and mortar, and we try to save that money in reserves in case we have to have a new roof, a new air conditioning. But you got all those fund accounts, and some cannot be spent for anything else, and so you got to manage your money in that area too.
You talked about earlier every 2 weeks you kind of get really an update on what's happening and can help formulate decisions, whether it's in our personal finances or city finances, which you guys are responsible for. That's awfully important.
Yeah, when you got to make payroll, and that's a real big responsibility. Some departments, you can monitor overtime some, but like in the fire department, the police department, whatever, it's hard to even manage the overtime there, because if it's needed, it's needed, and you just have to prepare for it. You have to be prepared for emergency. Like we had an ambulance, we all went bad on a particular type of ambulance a couple of years ago. We used to keep one on rotation, and we just paid like $30,000 every year as a payment. Had one to go out, we had to move his rotation. We had to buy one, and we had to just go pull him out of reserve and go buy one, $129,000. And it hurts, but it's good you had to reserve money for that. We would have. Now that ambulance is back down the line, and we're not as dependent on it as we used to be.
Back earlier this year, you had some water damage at the building where everything operates out of, and that's a big change too.
Oh yeah, I walked in that morning at 7 o'clock and stuck a key in the door, and it was raining harder inside than it was outside. And just a mistake by the contractor, and that resulted in some damage. We came out pretty good. He had a state license. He had $1 million coverage, and the builder worked real well, and his insurance company worked real well with us. And we actually came out, I think, our portion of the depreciation. You don't depreciate the building 6 years. Of course, it's a lot older building. But we came out $9,000, and we could take that out of we call it a trust fund money. We had been wanting to do something upstairs for quite some time. It had old carpet, wallpaper. So all that was able to be refurbished, and
if that's for me, just let it go. We're talking with Childersburg Mayor B.J. Meeks, the municipal election on the 28th of August, and Mayor Meeks' 6 terms total as mayor of Childersburg. And when you look at the next 4 years, what are some items that you see that need to be looked at and continued improvements on?
You know, it's amazing how you lead people into what they want to talk about. There's a lot of things that are going on, talking, I call them pie in the skies. And if I had never served on the council before or never been mayor, then I can make some promises. But I know some of the things can't be done. And now our critical point is infrastructure, roads. We got to come up with some type of program that we can do some road work with. Resurfacing, that's the main thing I'm hearing, and continue to work on the drainage. But we did about $1 million worth of road 3 years ago, and that's pretty good bit for a city our size to be able to accumulate that kind of money to do a project. But we did a lot of the roads that lead into town, off of 235 and off of 280 and off of 76. We did some of those.
There's a lot of traffic there.
Yeah, we did those roads, and they were expensive. Some of them $100,000 a piece. So we've got those out of the way, and now it's not expensive when you get in a community and you do a small road, maybe 500-600 yards long, and they're not really that wide as those entrance roads. So that, to me, we've got to, and I do have a plan in mind, and that we're going to try to implement. It's going to involve some community input and a number of public hearings. but we're going to have to put a plan in place for long-term address our streets, and that really increases the home value of everything. If you got a nice street in front of your house and got some drainage correction to it. But yes, that's going to be a plan I think has got to be.
How important is it, Mayor Meeks, been there and done that? 6 total terms as mayor.
Well, as an incumbent, you have some advantage, disadvantage. I can't make a lot of promises because I wouldn't be telling the truth. But I know what can and can't be done. I know my opponent is going to remain president, CEO of the chamber. He said that the city is a part-time job. It is part-time pay, but it's not a part-time job. But he's going to do it on the side, and it's just going to take a lot more time than he thinks. But if you talk to council members, they give you a different version with somebody that's running, because they're there. I have one particular one that came in with a ball of fire, and she told me the other day, and I tell them to start with, you're not going to get everything done the first year, second year, third year, fourth year. It depends on your money. But the council, after they serve a while, they start getting conscious too of how much money are we spending, what are we spending for, and a little more involved. But if you never served, you don't know. But you talk to anybody that's ever served in any city council, they'll tell you that it's a tough decision, and things are not the way it appears sometimes.
Most people will consider you as a pretty active participant in the council meetings there.
Yes, in under 12,000, it's called the Strong Mayor Council. The mayor has the right to vote, and he's chairman of the meeting. He doesn't have to vote.
But you vote.
I always felt like if it's something on the agenda, especially if it's something that I'm proposing, then I should have to vote, not ask him to do it for me. I should vote too, and enter a discussion. I probably enter discussion a little bit more than I should. The chair shouldn't enter discussion sometimes as much maybe as I do, but if you feel like it's something that I'm familiar with, by being out every day, I'm familiar with what's going on in the fire department, police department, street department. So if an issue comes up, I feel like I need to be involved in discussion there. But after I vote, I don't have a vote. I can't vote in case of a tie, but in case of a tie, I have to vote if I hadn't already voted. Only get one vote. But I think that's a lot better. Largest cities, the mayor doesn't have a vote.
Right.
So, but and it makes it tough being active in it.
Mayor Sam Wright, who was the mayor of Sylacauga for 2 terms, died in recent days, and he's told me on more than one occasion, and you echoed that just a few moments ago. One of the most frustrating things about being mayor is you just can't snap your fingers and get something done.
And especially, you've got to work with your council members, and you've got to keep them informed, because you don't want a council member to think that you're out on your own. And you've got to keep them informed, because it takes 4 votes, and the council all has a say-so and has a vote. And I've learned through some of the classes I've taken through the league, be respectful of each council member's opinion. And sometimes, not very many times, but through the years, I have been on the losing side of a vote, like a 4-2 vote, or either it didn't pass because of 3-3. But it's my job the next day, and me and Ms. Donahue, the city clerk, our job is to stop implementing that program. If they pass a resolution and I vote no, and it passes, then the next day my job is to get on with it and make it work, because that's what the council wanted.
The importance of fire and police and rescue units in Childersburg. I know that is something that you would like to continue to see grow and expand there.
Yeah, that's one of my pride and joys. Is we started when I was on the council. We did a lot of research and planning ahead, and that the council from 80 to 84 started implementing a paramedic program. And then after I took office in 86, we expanded that program and started doing a cross training as paramedics. And then in 86, with our location, we did recruiting and able to get a Brookwood clinic built on 280. But still, yet, with our location, the distance between the medical center and depending on Sylacauga Ambulance Service, they've done a good job, but they've got to come to Childersburg and then back on emergency. We did about a year of study and ran some mock runs and did a lot of things and cranked our ambulance up, and a little bit worried about it, but it's been very successful, and I think it's probably saved a lot of lives. And it's even important now that when we started, we said if we have to make cuts someplace else to fund it, we will. But it pretty well holds its own on funding. It does a good job. We've got a good collection rate, and so it's just a great program.
As in other communities, Childersburg has seen crime escalate, as in most cities, large and small. The police department is key not only in enforcing laws, but in talking with those and really getting out there where the rubber meets the road and educating people.
And Chief Burnett started a SWAT team, which they drill and practice on their own. And you never know, and we're a small city, but we're not immune to stuff. So we got to be prepared. If some crazy person wants to have a hostage send off or whatever, we got to be prepared to go in. And we've had some incidents occur recently, and it's hard to pass a law to stop crime. But in the recent incidents that have happened, I think that all the suspects are in jail now. So the police department has been able to do their job as far as investigating and getting warrants. Sometimes citizens will get a little upset if you do not arrest a person immediately. For example, the discharge of fire. But we don't want to charge a person that committed murder or close to murder, discharge of fire. We want to let the detective work his case up and take it and get him off the street. Yeah. And our police department does a good job of apprehending people that need to be put in jail.
Sylacauga, of course, is about 10 miles from Childersburg, and you guys do a lot of things collectively. And as the mayor of Childersburg, if reelected, whether it's Sylacauga or Childersburg or wherever it is, it's often so important that you network together with other communities.
We do, and we have some of our off-duty people, and especially paramedics or firemen that work for Sylacauga on their off days, and then some Sylacauga works with us, and it helps both cities. And also we have mutual aid. A number of times we'll stage an ambulance or a fire truck at Merkle Mountain, and a number of times they'll stage one with us. We've had an incident here a while back, and they sent a crew over, help the mutual aid with it. But that's really important that we work together. South Talladega County does do a good job working together. We have a good relationship with Oak Grove and Sylacauga, and it's been a benefit to all of our communities.
Downtown Childersburg, for years and years, has been steeped with family traditions of downtown Childersburg. What would you like to see to even improve on that in the next 4 years?
We met yesterday and did the pre-construction meeting on the downtown revitalization, and I think that if we can get the project going, it's going to be an improvement with one of the main improvements, taking the old traffic signal lights down and putting the arms up and placing swagging cables across there, doing the stamped sidewalks and brick over outlay and some landscaping in the corners, and then hopefully it's been a problem dealing with, because First Street is also a state highway. So you got to deal with the highway department, you got to deal with federal grant money. It's been a long time coming, but should start construction, I think September 17th. They'll have to knock off for 1 week for the race. They'll clear out. We're going to have some problems too at that time. We're going to have to take down the traffic signal lights, put up some stop signs, and put some temporary sidewalks in front of the business. We'll tear them out. But later on, we hope to expand that project. Maybe it won't be as expensive by doing a local contractor, expand it down 8th and 9th Avenue a little bit and make more of a square. Pedestrian lights will be put in on sidewalks. And I think that would encourage people then, and we would like to come up with some type of grant program telling the store owners, we'll match you. If you spend $5,000, we'll match you $5,000 around the sidewalk area in the front of your store. And encourage people to come back to town and open it up and repair some of the buildings. We've got some that's run down. We did the survey today. We're taking down a couple old buildings downtown. The Ice House, it has historic value, but it's gone too far, and it's become a safety hazard and an eyesore. And it's on the list today. We talked with the contractor to take it. It'll be coming down.
Childersburg Mayor B.J. Meeks joining us, and 6 total terms as mayor of the city of Childersburg. And Childersburg has been your life, most of your life.
Yes, it has, except for one little bit of time I was in the military, and lived there all my life, and love the place. I love to talk about it when I go off, tell people about it. I think we have a great community. We've got a good history, background to us, and been active, involved in a lot of things through the years. Didn't have much time lately to be involved. Used to be involved deeply in the quarterback club and the basketball boosters club, and coached youth sports there, basketball, football, and baseball, and even helped coach high school a while, and worked around. And I love getting involved with projects. We had Tiger Fest this weekend. I like to get involved and work at it. Takusa Fest. I enjoy going out and cooking all day and talking to people, and I guess that's one thing. Campaigning, I love to campaign but I spend too much time in one house sometimes. I'll go out and campaign 4 hours and come back and maybe be in the 10, 12 houses. But I love talking to people in Shoresburg, and it's a great little town.
You talked about the youth and that kind of thing. Parks and recreation is key to the growth of any city.
Yes, it is. And keeping your facilities up and clean. And we now have Howard Smith as our new director, and he's got Miss Davis. We hired as like a program director, and she has had some great programs started. She had the summer camp last summer, and then when the school started, she did after school program, and it's been a tremendous success. They actually drop the students off there after school. She has a snack for them. They do their homework, and then they have playtime if there's any left. And then that program she has done a tremendous job with it, as she did in the summer program. She got in a little late to start the summer program, but next summer I bet it's going to really be a good program. And but in Shoresburg, it's hard to compete against baseball. When summertime comes, a lot of programs not going to make it because they're going to be at the baseball field, girls softball field and baseball field, all that, the Pine Crest, and you can't hardly get a parking place out there on the side of the road, and that's good. It's good that kids have a place to go play like that, and I know I enjoyed it for years coaching.
The seniors of Childersburg, the older generation, they've been there and done that too, and you don't want to leave them behind either.
No, and that's why for years we planned on, they'd have to be moving around. They'd have their nutrition program over here a while and over there for a while, and we finally got into position to build a senior building. And we built it. We wanted to build it almost like a house, but a building. And we built a 3,200 square foot house. And it didn't take long to find out if you're going to do a little ceramics and art in there. So we added additional 1,200 square foot in the back of it, and it's art and craft. And a lot of them go there, and that's our transportation. Works out of that building too. Years ago, when they talked about starting transportation, we had a number of meetings. And the only person to show up was Mayor Ziegler and myself. So finally we told him, he said, we're ready to start. And so we started, and then it spread through the county transportation system. And now we've gone from like one driver, I think now we run about 4 drivers on our transportation. And
why should people go to the polls and re-elect B.J. Meeks to another 4-year term as a mayor of Childersburg?
I think with the experience I've been able to gather, the time that you have invested in me, I've gone to a lot of municipal schools, and I learned a lot of stuff at the league conventions, and I went through the basics, the advanced, and then I do the continuing education. And you've got time invested in me too, with experience, and you never know when you're going to have a crisis arise, and to be able to handle it. The police and chief and people like that, they know how to handle a crisis, but they want to get with the mayor and tell him, this is what we think, but they want you to go out front.
And you want to know.
And I want to know, but they want you to go out front. But I want to sit down and gather information from them, and this is which direction I need to go, and then I got to make a decision. And also, I'm a firm believer in financial stability. I watched a show last Friday night on Fox. It scared the daylights out of me. Talking about cities going bankrupt. And of course, Jefferson County is the largest bankrupt case in the United States. But instead, it can happen to small cities too. And a lot of it came because they would have visions to do something, and it didn't work. They'd put more money behind it, try to make it work. And then meanwhile, it's letting their infrastructure go down. But if I'm reelected, I promise one thing: I will keep the service for our citizens, and I'll keep the financial stability. I don't want to see us get in debt. I don't want to be making interest payments on money I could be spending on something else. We provide a good service. One of the best services we have is our sanitation department, $10 a month, and we pick up twice a week. We offer a back door for handicapped and seniors. If they can't get their can to the road, we go get it for them. And if I'm reelected, I want to continue the service we have and stay financially sound. And I like helping people. And I know that sounds sort of out of place. Everybody says that. But I do. I enjoy being able to assist people that call me and got a problem if I can help with it. I love the thoughts. A lot of people said, I want to create jobs. Who don't want to create jobs? But we're doing it. We've got a plan to create jobs. And I want the people to give me an opportunity to continue. And if I don't make it to your door, give me a call. I mean, I got 1,800 houses to try to get to, plus apartment buildings, and it's pretty tough. But I've really been surprised. I've been held up better than I thought it would. A little bit better shape physically I thought it might be when I started on those hot days. But some days it's tough to force yourself to get out and get started. But once I get started, I don't want to quit. And that's why I'm at some people's door at 8 o'clock at night, because I just don't want to quit. But I look forward to serving the people again, and hope I can be reelected and continue some of the things we got going on.
Childersburg Mayor B.J. Meeks, the incumbent, running for re-election in the August 28th municipal election in Childersburg. B.J., it's always a pleasure. Thanks for dropping by today.
Thank you. I enjoyed it.
We've got more to do right after you watch this.